I slammed the door on my own mother that sweltering Miami afternoon, the kind of heat that makes your skin crawl like it's alive, and whispered through the crack, "Get the hell out before I call the cops on you for fraud." She didn't flinch, just held up those crinkled legal papers like they were the goddamn Constitution, her lipstick-smeared smile twisting into something feral. "This is your brother's house.
Ella.
You stole it from him, your own blood." And in that split second, as her words hung like humidity in the air, I realized the revenge I'd been plotting for years wasn't just about the condo anymore. It was about burning down the lie she'd built our entire family on, even if it meant torching myself in the flames. You know that feeling when the world tilts just a hair off its axis, and suddenly every foundation you've trusted crumbles like cheap drywall? That's how it hit me the day Mom showed up at my door with those papers. Unannounced. Like she owned the place, which, according to her, she damn near did. I'd just closed on the condo 6 months earlier, after scraping together every dime from my freelance graphic design gigs and that brutal side hustle bartending at a dive in South Beach. No loans. No handouts. Just me, Ella Ramirez, 28, and finally clawing my way out of the poverty pit my family had dug for generations. The place was my sanctuary, a third-floor unit in a glassy high-rise off Ocean Drive, with balconies that caught the salt spray and views that made you forget the grind. I'd furnished it sparse, thrifted IKEA knockoffs, a king bed from Craigslist, and one splurge on those gauzy white curtains that billowed like ghosts in the trade winds. It smelled like fresh paint and possibility, not the stale cigarette smoke and regret of the cramped apartment I'd grown up in back in Little Havana. Mom, Lydia Ramirez, queen of bad decisions and worst-eyed jobs, banged on the door again before I'd even locked it.
Ella.
"Open up.
Mia.
We need to talk about your brother." Her voice was that fake sweet lilt she reserved for church ladies and bill collectors, the one that hid the venom underneath. I cracked the door, chains still latched, and there she was, peroxide blonde roots showing through her dark hair, a knockoff Chanel bag slung over one shoulder, and in her manicured hand, a manila envelope fat with lies. "What the hell?"
Mom?
"It's 2 in the afternoon. I was sleeping off a double shift." She pushed past the chain like it was tissue. Her perfume, a cloying mix of vanilla and desperation, invading the cool AC air. "Sleeping? At your age?
Ay.
Dios. No wonder you're alone. Listen, this isn't your place anymore. It's Tommy's. I have the papers right here."
Tommy.
My brother. The golden boy who'd vanished from our lives like a bad sequel nobody asked for. Last I'd heard, he was crashing on couches in LA, chasing some pipe dream of being the next big screenwriter. We hadn't spoken in 5 years. Not since he bailed on Dad's funeral. Too busy with an audition that never panned out. But family, right? Blood thicker than the mojitos I poured last night. I snatched the envelope, my heart doing that stupid stutter it always did around her. Inside, a quitclaim deed, notarized, dated back to when Dad was still alive. It listed the condo, hell, the whole damn building, as part of some family trust Tommy had supposedly inherited. Forged signatures.
My name nowhere on it.
This is bullshit. I bought this with my own money. Check the county records. Her eyes narrowed. That calculating glint I'd seen since I was a kid, when she'd borrow my allowance for lotto tickets. The records are wrong.
Ella.
Tommy's been paying the mortgage secretly. For years. He's the real owner.
You.
You just thought it was yours because you handled the closing. A mix-up. A mix-up. Like the time she mixed up Dad's life insurance payout and blew it on a timeshare in Orlando that we never saw. Or when she convinced me to co-sign for Tommy's car loan freshman year, and I ended up eating the repo fees while he drove off into the sunset. I felt the rage bubble up, hot and familiar, like the steam from a Cuban sandwich press. "Get out," I said, voice low, shoving the papers back at her. But she planted her feet, that 5'2" frame suddenly unmovable.
Ella.
Think about your brother. He's in trouble, bad men in Hollywood. Loans he can't pay. This place? It's his lifeline. You owe him. After everything. Everything. There it was. The hook she always dangled. The secret she'd buried so deep it festered like an untreated wound. I turned away, staring out at the turquoise Atlantic, waves crashing like accusations. Owe him? For what? Covering his ass when he got caught boosting cars in high school. For lying to the cops that it was me behind the wheel. Taking the juvie rap at 16 so he could skate to his promising future? Yeah. That everything. I was 15 when Tommy, 2 years older, decided joyriding in Dad's old Chevy was his ticket to cool. Cops pulled us over on Calle Ocho, lights flashing like Judgment Day. Tommy froze. That deer in headlights look he mastered early. "Ella did it," he whispered to me in the back seat. "Tell him it was you. You're the tough one." And I did. God help me, I did. Because Mom begged me later, tears streaming over her makeup. "He's got dreams."
Mia. College.
Maybe even film school. You'll bounce back. Family first. So I confessed. Spent 3 months in a facility upstate, learning trades while Tommy partied through community college on my sacrifice. Dad never knew the full truth. He just hugged me tighter when I got out, muttering about kids these days. That was the first betrayal. Not the deepest, but the one that taught me family wasn't a shield, it was a blade.
Now.
Here she was, wielding it again. "You stole his inheritance," she pressed, voice rising. "This condo was meant for him, from your abuela's estate." She told me in confidence before she passed. Tommy's name on everything. Abuela's estate. The woman who'd raised us after Mom's string of boyfriends turned toxic. She died 5 years back, leaving a modest pot, the down payment on this very building, back when it was still blueprints and promises. I'd managed it all, navigating the lawyers, the taxes, the endless paperwork, while Tommy ghosted and Mom forgot her login passwords. And now this. I grabbed my phone, dialing the realtor who'd handled the closing. "Hey, Maria?"
Yeah.
"It's Ella. Quick question. Any liens or trusts on my unit?" Her voice crackled back calm. "Nope. Clean as a whistle. All yours." I held the phone out like evidence. Mom's face crumpled, then hardened.
Lies.
"They're all in on it. Tommy warned me you'd do this. Turn on your own blood." Turn on my blood? The words ignited something primal. I unchained the door fully, gripped her arm, not hard, but firm, and marched her to the balcony. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in bloody oranges. The city hummed below like a distant roar. "Listen good,
Mom.
This is my house. I paid for it, every mortgage payment, every utility bill, every goddamn scrub of these floors. Tommy hasn't sent a dime since he left for California.
And you?
You've been too busy with your book club boyfriends to lift a finger." She wrenched free, cheeks flushing under the foundation. "Ingrata, after I raised you, Sacrifice for you both. Sacrificed. The word echoed like a slap. I laughed, bitter and sharp. Raised us? You pawned our childhood for your fantasies. Dad worked 2 jobs till his heart gave out. And what did you do? Flirted your way through grief counseling. Her hand flew up, but I caught her wrist midair. We stood there, locked, the wind whipping her hair like Medusa's snakes. Below, tourists strolled oblivious, pina coladas in hand. Up here, it was war. Fine, she spat, yanking back. But this isn't over. Tommy's coming for what's his. And when he does, you'll see you can't fight family. She stormed out, heels clicking like gunfire on the tile. I bolted the door, slid down against it, breath ragged. The papers lay scattered like confetti from hell. That's when the real hook sank in. This wasn't just about the condo. It was the unraveling of the biggest lie, the one where I'd carried Tommy's sins so he could shine. And Mom orchestrated it all, flipping sides whenever the wind changed. I poured a rum neat, the bottle sweating in my hand, and stared at the deed. Revenge? It had been simmering since juvie, but now it boiled. I'd expose them.
Both.
But first, I needed proof. The kind that stuck like gum on a hot sidewalk. That night, insomnia gripped me like a vice. I paced the living room, the AC humming a dirge. Abuela's estate. Had there really been a trust? I fired up my laptop. The screens glow harsh in the dark. County records online clean. But deeper dives into probate filings from 5 years back. There it was. A codicil to Abuela's will, filed quietly, naming Tommy as sole beneficiary of the real estate fund. Signed by her shaky hand, witnessed by Mom. My stomach twisted.
Abuela.
Bedridden with cancer, whispering secrets in her final days. Had Mom coerced it? Or worse, forged it? Like these new papers? I called my cousin Rosa, the family archivist, up in Tampa.
Ella?
It's midnight. Chica. What's up? Abuela's will. The condo fund.
Was Tommy really in it?
Silence, then a sigh. Yeah. But it was weird. Lydia handled everything. Abuela was out of it on morphine. I questioned it, but your mom said it was her dying wish, Tommy's fresh start. Fresh start. The phrase mocked me. Tommy's fresh starts had always been my detours. By dawn, I'd pieced it together. Mom had buried the codicil. Let me think the fund was unclaimed, then generously suggested I use it for the condo down payment. I'd fronted the cash, assuming it was a loan from the estate. But legally, it tied back to Tommy. Betrayal. Level 2. She'd played me like a mark at the track. I needed more. Hacking wasn't my style, too CSI for a girl who doodled logos for startups, but public records? Fair game. I searched Tommy's name, scattered credits on indie films, Audai and Fanins, and bingo, a bankruptcy filing last year. Debts up to his eyeballs, including a shady loan from some outfit called Pacific Partners. Connected to Hollywood? Or Miami money launderers? The pieces clicked. Mom's sudden wealth, new car, spa weekends. Was she bankrolling Tommy's mess? Or vice versa? Coffee black. I drove to the courthouse downtown. The midday traffic a snarl of honks and exhaust. The clerk, a bored woman with cat-eye glasses, handed over the probate file. There, buried in exhibits, Abuela's signature. But the notary stamp? from a guy who'd been disbarred for fraud 2 years prior. Mom's old flame. If the gossip held, it was enough. Or it would be, once I lawyered up. But revenge isn't just courts, it's personal. I texted Tommy's last known number. Heard you're coming for my home. Bring it. But first, explain juvie.
And Abuela.
No reply.
Fine.
I'd make him come. Days blurred into a haze of work and wiretaps, legal ones, through a PI buddy from bartending days. Bugs in Mom's phone, consensual, since Florida's one party. Calls to Tommy laced with panic. She's on to us. Eho. We have to move fast.
Us.
There it was. The cabal. By week's end, the hook lines sank deeper, a voicemail from Tommy. Voice slurred like he'd mainline Jack Daniels.
Ella. Sis.
Mom's right. It's mine. But hey, we can work a deal. 50-50? For old times, old times. The ones where I took the fall. I deleted it. Booked a flight to LA. Time to flip the script. Word count, 1012. LA hit me like a slap from a jealous ex, glamorous on the surface, rotten underneath. All smog and shattered dreams. I landed at LAX on a red-eye. The kind where you wake up with neck cramps and regrets. My backpack stuffed with printouts and a burner phone for the PI updates. No checked bags. This wasn't a vacation. It was reconnaissance. Tommy lived, or squatted, in a rundown bungalow in Echo Park. The sort of place where palm trees leaned like drunks and graffiti tagged every fence. I'd gotten the address from his IMDb page. Buried in, also produced by, credits for low-budget horrors that went straight to streaming purgatory. The PI confirmed. He was there. Holed up with a rotating cast of aspiring actresses and dealers who doubled as managers. I parked my rental, a beat-up Civic that screamed normie, a block away, watching from behind polarized shades. The house pulsed with bass from some trap remix. Windows cracked like they were gasping for air. Around noon, he stumbled out. Tommy Ramirez, my brother, looking like he'd aged a decade in 5 years. Gaunt cheeks. A scruffy beard that didn't hide the hollow eyes. Jeans sagging off hips that spoke of too many skipped meals and too much coke. He lit a cigarette, phone glued to his ear. Yeah.
Ma.
I got it. The papers are en route. Ella's bluffing, she always folds. Laughter. Sharp and false. Remember Jivy? She took the heat like a champ.
Blood.
Right?
Blood.
The word curdled in my gut. I gripped the wheel. Knuckles white. That was us, codependent in the cruelest way.
Tommy.
The charmer, me. The fixer. Mom's favorites. Flipped on a dime. I waited till he went back in, then approached. The door was ajar. A haze of weed smoke curling out like an invitation. Tommy? My voice echoed off peeling wallpaper. A living room that screamed Arrested Development. Posters of Tarantino flicks yellowing on walls. A script-strewn coffee table. And takeout boxes fossilizing in corners. He emerged from the kitchen. A beer in hand. Freezing mid-sip.
Ella?
What the? How'd you find me? Google. Dumbass. And Mom's big mouth. I stepped inside, the door creaking shut behind me like a trap. Up close. He reeked of stale ambition, sweat, hops, and that cheap cologne he stole from Dad. His eyes darted. That old tell. Look.
Sis.
Bad timing. Got a pitch meeting tomorrow. Save it. I'm here about the condo. And the trust. And why you're sending Mom to do your dirty work. He deflated, slumping onto a sagging couch. It's not like that. Ma's just protective. The codicil, Abuela wanted me to have it. For my career. Career? I snorted, tossing the probate printouts onto the table. They fluttered like dead leaves. Bankruptcy says otherwise. And that notary? Your mom's ex-con buddy. He flinched, snatching a page. That's circumstantial. Come on.
Él.
We're family.
Family.
The magic word, wielded like a shank. I sat across from him, the coffee table a no man's land. Tell me about Jivy. Why'd you let me take the fall? Silence stretched, thick as the smog outside. He took a long pull from the beer, Adam's apple bobbing. You were tougher. I panicked. Mom said it'd build character for you. Character. As if my 3 months in that gray hellhole, learning welding while counselors droned about choices, were a fucking gift. And Abuela? Did Mom forge that too?
No.
Swear to God. But his eyes slid away. To the script beside him, Blood Ties. A revenge thriller about siblings torn by greed. Ironic. Prove it.
Call the notary. Now.
He hesitated, then dialed on speaker. The line rang out to voicemail, a gravelly voice promising discreet services. Discreet. Like burying family secrets. Tommy hung up. Defeated. Okay.
Fine.
It was shady. Mom pushed Abuela, said it was her last wish. To give me a leg up. But the signature. It's real. I saw her sign it. Liar. Abuela had barely held a pen those last weeks. But doubt crept in. That old fissure Mom loved to pry open. Was I the villain here? Rewriting history for my grudge? We talked, or bartered, for hours. He spun tales of Hollywood horrors, predatory producers. Gigs that evaporated. The loan from Pacific Partners that started as $5,000 and ballooned to 50. They're connected.
Él.
Mobbed up. If I lose the condo, they come for me. Sympathy flickered. Unbidden.
Tommy.
The boy who'd shared his comic books. Taught me to skip stones on the Miami River. But then I remembered the court date. The judge's gavel sealing my fate while he stood silent in the back row. 50-50, he offered again, echoing the voicemail. You keep the place. I get half the equity. Fair.
Fair.
The word tasted like ash.
No.
You get nothing. But help me bury Mom's fraud. And maybe I forget the rest. His laugh was hollow. Bury Ma? She's the only one who believed in me.
Believed.
Or enabled. We circled like sharks. Accusations flying. My selfish independence. His parasitic dreams. By dusk, we'd struck a brittle truce. He'd confront Mom. Get her to back off the papers. In return, I'd wire him $1,000 for rent. Not forgiveness. Just a pause. I left as the sun dipped behind the Hollywood sign, that iconic lie mocking me. Back at my motel off Sunset. Cheap neon buzzing. I scrolled Mom's tapped calls. Her voice. Frantic. Tommy? What happened? She show up.
Yeah. Ma. She's pissed.
But I handled it.
Handled it.
Like always. Rage reignited. The truce? A feint. Tommy was flipping already, texting her coordinates for my next move. I could hear it in his evasive chuckles. Next morning, I tailed him to his pitch meeting, a dingy coffee shop in Silver Lake. Hipsters clacking on MacBooks. He met a suit, mid-40s, slick hair, gold chain glinting. Pacific Partners? The conversation was hushed, but I caught fragments from my booth. The property. Miami. Leverage. Leverage. On me. I slipped out, heart pounding, and called my lawyer back home, a no-nonsense Cuban-American named Javier, who billed by the hour but bled for underdogs.
Ella.
Sue for fraud. Get a restraining order. But if Tommy contests, it'll drag.
Drag.
Like my life already had. That night, twist one hit, a package at the motel desk. No return address. Inside, a USB drive and a note in Tommy's scrawl. Watch this. Then decide. The video, grainy cell footage, time-stamped Juvie release day.
Me.
17 and hollow-eyed, stepping into Mom's waiting Buick. But the audio, overdubbed, had her saying, "You did good."
Mia.
Tommy's script just sold. This is for us all. Sold? Tommy's first big break, the one that funded his escape. But I knew the truth. It tanked. Unpublished. Was this deep fake? Or proof she'd promised me a cut? Then ghosted? Doubt gnawed deeper. Maybe I was the betrayer, clinging to old wounds.
No.
I plugged in the drive to my laptop, ran forensics, basic, but enough. Metadata showed edits from Tommy's IP last week. Manipulation. The shadow lengthened. Tommy wasn't just scheming, he was gaslighting, flipping the narrative to make me the villain. Mom's puppet, or her rival. I booked the flight home. Resolve hardening. Miami waited. Humid and unforgiving.
But now.
The revenge sharpened. Exposed the video. The codicil. The loans. Drag them into the light, even if it blinded us all. As the plane lifted off, LA shrinking below like a bad dream, I texted Tommy, "Nice try with a fake vid." "Your move." His reply, "You sure it's fake? Dig deeper."
Sis.
The hook twisted. What if it wasn't? Back in Miami, the condo felt less like home and more like a bunker, curtains drawn, doors double-locked. The ocean view, a taunting reminder of what they wanted to rip away. I'd been gone 3 days, but the place reeked of intrusion, a faint whiff of Mom's perfume in the hall closet, drawers rifled just enough to unsettle. Had she keyed in while I was away? The spare I'd given her years back. For emergencies. Emergencies like theft. Javier met me at his office in Brickell. A gleaming tower of glass and greed, the kind where lawyers sharked for the elite. He was all pressed guayaberas and gold cufflinks, but his eyes, sharp as a switchblade, saw through bullshit.
Ella.
The videos doctored. Timestamp mismatch. But the codicil? That's stickier. If Tommy pushes, we need his depo. And Lydia's, under oath. She'll crack. Crack. Like the fault lines in our family portrait. The one Abuela kept on her mantle. Mom beaming. Tommy gap-toothed and grinning. Me off to the side. Already wary. I nodded, signing retainers that dipped into my savings like acid. Do it. File the slander suit too. On the papers she waved. He leaned back, steepling fingers. This'll get ugly. Family courts eat drama for breakfast. You ready to air it all? Juvie. The car. Abuela's morphine haze. Air it all. The thought clawed at me. Miami's Cuban community was tight-knit. Gossip faster than conga lines at Calle Ocho Fest. My name, Ramirez, already whispered in bodegas, the daughter who turned on her own. But silence had cost me enough. Ready. First strike, the restraining order. Served to Mom at her hair salon in Hialeah, where she clipped extensions for snowbirds and side-eyed the news. The process server texted me a pic, her face crumpling amid the foils and spritz bottles. Clients gawking like it was a telenovela live. Her call came that night. Blocked number be damned. I'd unblocked for this. Ella Ramirez. You traitorous puta. A restraining order? On your own mother? Stay off my property.
Mom.
And tell Tommy to lawyer up. Tommy? He's heartbroken. Thinks you're possessed or something.
A pause.
Sniffles for effect. We were coming clean. The condo's equity split 3 ways. For Abuela's memory, 3 ways. Including her cut. The flip was seamless. From thief to martyr. I almost admired it. Liar. The video was your idea, wasn't it? Trying to guilt me. Video? She played dumb. Then outrage. What video? You're paranoid. Like your father. Always suspecting the worst. Dad. The invocation stung. Gone 10 years. Felled by a coronary at 48. Slaving at the port while she pursued passions. His last words to me. Take care of them.
Mia.
Even when it hurts. Hurts. Understatement of the century. I hung up. Poured a cafecito, strong.
Sweet.
Like the resolve I needed. The PI chimed in. Tommy booked a flight to MIA tomorrow. Showdown incoming. He arrived at the condo unannounced. Knocking like a debt collector, insistent. Rhythmic. I buzzed him up. Glock in my purse, floor to carry. Concealed and legal. Just in case. Paranoia? Maybe. But family flips fast. Tommy looked worse in daylight. Bloodshot eyes. A fresh bruise purpling his jaw. Rough landing, he muttered, slumping into my armchair. No pleasantries.
Sit. Talk.
Why the video? He rubbed his neck, avoiding my gaze. Not me.
A friend.
Thought it'd soften you. Show we were in it together. Together. The lie chafed. Who's Pacific Partners? Your muscle? His flinch confirmed it. Investors. For the script. Blood ties, it's gold.
Él.
But they want collateral. The condo. Collateral. My home. Pawned like Dad's tools at the shop. You signed it over? Without telling me?
Had to.
Or they break knees. Yours too. Maybe. He leaned forward. Earnest now, the flip to victim. Help me.
Sis.
Buy time. I'll pay you back, swear on Abuela.
Abuela.
The ghost they both summoned. I pulled up my laptop. Cued the video.
Watch.
The audio's fake. Your sale never happened. He stared. Color draining.
Shit. That's
Ma's voice. She must have. Must have what? Coached you into this? Or are you both playing me? Denials tumbled out. A torrent. Mom's manipulations. How she'd cut him off last year. Forcing the loans. His guilt over juvie. Dreams of making it big to repay me. I flipped.
Él.
To survive. But you're the strong one. Always were. Strong. The word I'd worn like armor. Till it rusted. We hashed a plan, him testifying against the codicil fraud, me fronting bail if Pacific came knocking. Truce 2.0. Fragile as rice paper. But as he left, hugging me awkwardly, "Love you, sis," Doubt whispered. His phone buzzed in his pocket, Mom's ringtone, a cheesy salsa tune. He silenced it, but not before I glimpsed the text. "Don't trust her. She's got Javier."
Javier? How?
I'd told no one. The flip revealed Tommy, feeding intel back. Or Mom, hacking my life. I confronted Javier next day. His office smelled of cigar ash and espresso.
Ella. Come.
Lydia called fishing. Said you were unstable. Standard smear. Unstable. The oldest play. But then he slid a file across. Discovery docs from the suit. Buried in exhibits. A bank transfer. Mom wiring Tommy $20K last month. From a joint account. Hers and Dad's. Postmortem. Dad's money. The final betrayal. I stormed Mom's salon that afternoon. Order be damned. She was mid-perm. Client chattering about hurricanes. Lydia Ramirez. I barked. Envelope of transfers in hand. The room hushed. Scissors frozen.
Ella?
You can't. But her eyes widened at the docs. Dad's life insurance. You drained it for Tommy's investors. While I buried him on credit. Tears. Instant. It was for the family. Tommy's script. Blood ties? The one about revenge. I laughed.
Cold. Poetic.
But forge abuelas will again. And I'll bury you both. The client gasped. Perm forgotten. Mom's facade cracked. You don't understand. Tommy's in deep. Pacific, they killed for less.
Killed.
The word hung. Controversial thunder. Was she lying? Or warning? I left her weeping amid the chatter. The salon's mirrors reflecting a fractured me. That night. Twist 2, Tommy's call.
Panicked. El. Run.
Pacific knows. They're coming for the condo keys.
Keys.
I'd changed the locks. But digital access? Mom had the code. Sirens wailed distant. Storm clouds gathering. The tension coiled.
Uamos of fever dröm.
Revenge wasn't a plan anymore. It was survival. But whose side was blood on? The storm broke that night. Miami skies unleashing biblical fury, sheets of rain lashing the windows. Thunder rumbling like God's own discontent. I barricaded the condo door with a hall table. Antique oak from Abuela's attic. Its weight a flimsy talisman. Tommy's warning echoed. They're coming. Pacific partners. Shadowy suits with Miami roots and LA reach. The kind who laundered cash through condos and called it development. I paced the living room. Glock heavy in my lap. The TV flickering muted news. Another cartel bust downtown. A coincidence? Or prelude? Javier had texted. Cops on speed dial. Don't engage. Easy for him. Safe in his high-rise. Headlights pierced the downpour around midnight, sweeping the balcony like searchlights. Two figures emerged from a black Escalade, rain-slicked trench coats flapping. One tall, broad enforcer build, the other wiry. Umbrella shielding a face I clocked from Tommy's meeting, the suit. They pounded the lobby buzzer. Voices tinny through the intercom. MS. Ramirez? Delivery for your brother. Brother.
The ploy stank.
I hit record on my phone. Voice steady. Wrong unit. Try LA. Laughter. Low and mean. We know he's here. Open up. Or we discuss with management. Quiet like. Management. The HOA busybodies who'd already fielded Mom's complaints. I glanced at the security cam feed, grainy, but clear, the tall one palming a bulge under his coat. Not a gun. Too bulky. Bat? Or worse. Tommy's text lit my screen. Sorry.
Él.
Told them you'd negotiate.
Stall. Stall.
The betrayal landed like lightning, splitting the last bridge. I forwarded it to Javier, evidence for the pile, then buzzed them up. No choice, better inside. On my turf. The elevator dinged. And there they were, Suit calling himself Victor. From the name tag glint and muscle, silent. Eyes dead as a shark's. Rain dripped from their coats, pooling on my tile like accusations. MS. Ramirez, Victor purred, Miami accent thick with threat. Your brother's in a bind. The property collateral. We need the keys.
Now. Keys.
To my life. I backed to the kitchen island, Glock casual in hand, not aimed, but visible. Florida, stand your ground. Baby. This isn't his. Check the deed. He chuckled. Umbrella folding with a snap. Deeds change. Like loyalties. Muscle shifted. Hand twitching. Victor's eyes flicked to him. Warning or signal. My phone buzzed, Mom. Don't fight them. Give it up. For Tommy. For Tommy. The flip again. Her allegiance whiplash from protector to pusher. I ignored it. Heart hammering. Call him. Verify. Victor did. Speaker on. Tommy's voice. Ragged. L. Just hand it over. I'll fix this. Script sells next week.
Fix.
Like juvie. You're done.
Tommy.
Testifying tomorrow. Against you. Silence. Then his laugh broken. Then we're all dead. The line clicked. Victor's smile thinned.
See?
Family first. Keys. Thunder crashed. Lights flickering. Power surge? Or sabotage? In the stutter. Muscle lunged, not for me, but the balcony door. Wrenching it open. Wind howled in. Rain sprang like shrapnel. What the? I raised the Glock. But Victor was faster. Palm striking my wrist. Pain exploded. Gun skittering across the floor. Muscle hauled in a duffel. Tools? No. Surveying gear? Laser levels. The works. Foreclosure prep. Victor sneered. Zip tying my wrist to the chair. Your brother's lean trumps your title. We're rekeying tonight.
Lien.
Forged? No doubt. I twisted. Testing the plastic. Mom's doing? He paused. Almost amused. Lydia? Useful. But sloppy. Tommy's the brains, flipped the codicil digital last year. Smart kid. Flipped. The revelation dizzied. Tommy. Not Mom. The architect. She'd been the front, taking heat while he schemed from afar. My fixer role? His cover. Muscle worked the locks. Rain masking the clicks. Victor loomed, breath sour with cigars. You could have split it. 50-50. But no, revenge over blood. Betrayal first, I spat. You know about Juvie? He let me rot. Victor shrug. Family's messy. Like business. His phone rang. Tommy. Boss wants confirmation. Scream for the mic. Defiance surged. I headbutt him instead, nose crunching wetly. He reeled, blood spraying my cheek. No gore, just the warm trickle of war. Muscle abandoned the door, tackling me. We grappled, chair tipping, my bound hands clawing his face. Sirens wailed. Javier's cavalry? Or neighbors? Spooked by the storm, Victor yanked Muscle off, barking, "Enough! Cops inbound." They bolted, duffel abandoned, leaving zip-tie burns and a trashed balcony. I freed myself with kitchen shears, retrieved the Glock, and called 911. Break-in. Attempted theft. Cops arrived soaked, flashlights carving shadows. Statements given. Evidence bagged. The gear. Victor's umbrella with initials. Tommy's number traced to the call. Dawn broke gray. Storm spent. Javier showed with coffee and a prelim, the lean bogus. But Pacific real, tied to Hialeah rackets. Money laundering through family trusts. Mom's salon? A front.
For the PI.
She'd flipped too, laundering for them. Tommy's script's a cover for scripts of another kind, financial. The confrontation peaked that afternoon. Family meeting. My demand. At a neutral Starbucks in Coral Gables. Neutral ground. Public eyes. They arrived together, Mom. Makeup caked over bruises, from Victor's frustration.
Tommy.
Hungover and hollow. Sit, I said. Table strewn with docs, transfers, codicil scans, the video breakdown. Baristas hovered, sensing drama. Mom started, tears primed. Ella, we were protecting you. Pacific monsters. Protecting? By stealing my home. I slid the lean copy. Tommy signed this. Last month. He crumbled, head in hands. I had to. They had dirt on juvie. Said they'd pin it on me. Reopen as adult.
Pin it.
The ultimate flip. My sacrifice. Weaponized against him. Controversial calculus. Who owed whom? Mom lunged for the papers. But I snatched them. All of it, Abuela. Dad's money. The car. You orchestrated. For his dreams. Dreams. Tommy exploded, flipping to fury. You got the condo. I got nada.
Nada.
The polarization hit. Readers, hell. Me, torn. Was I the greedy sister, hoarding Abuela's ghost?
Or they?
The leeches sucking her dry? Thunder rumbled distant, echo of the night. Mom whispered, please.
Mia.
Drop the suit. We'll leave you alone. Alone. The word tempted. A happy-ish end. But revenge whispered louder.
No. Court Monday.
Testify. Or jail. They left fractured. Mom clutching Tommy, like a shield. I sat amid the steam of lattes. The weight lifting slightly. But the twist loomed. Unspoken. Pacific's retaliation. That night, alone in the half-rekeyed condo, I dreamed of Abuela, her voice. Morphine slurred but clear.
Ella.
Forgive. Or become them. Forgive? The debate raged in my skull. Blood or justice. Court day dawned brutal, humidity clinging like guilt. The Dade County Courthouse a fortress of marble and malice, echoing with the footsteps of the damned. I arrived early. Javier at my side. His briefcase stuffed with ammo, affidavits, bank logs. The busted lean dissected like a frog in bio class. The gallery hummed. Cousins I'd ghosted, Salon gossips with popcorn eyes. Even Rosa from Tampa. Her presence a quiet anchor. Mom and Tommy sat across the aisle. A mismatched duo, her in a somber black dress. Rosary beads clicking like accusations, him rumpled in a thrift suit, eyes darting like a cornered rat. No Pacific suits. Javier's motion had frozen their assets pending investigation.
Small win.
The judge. A no-nonsense Latina with silver streaks and a gavel like Thor's hammer. Called order. Ramirez v. Ramirez. Fraud and slander. Counsel? Javier rose. Smooth as ever. Your Honor. My client, Ella Ramirez, seeks quiet title on the property, plus damages for emotional distress. The defendants conspired to forge documents, leveraging a minor's criminal record for extortion.
Extortion.
The word landed heavy, gasps rippling. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Tommy paled. Opposing counsel, a slimy public defender assigned to their broke asses, stammered. Baseless. Your Honor. Family dispute. No malice. Malice. Understatement. Testimony kicked off. Me first. Voice steady on the stand. I paid every cent.
But they
built this on my back.
Juvie?
I took the fall for Tommy. Abuela's will? Coerced at best. Cross-exam. The PD grilled. So you admit the juvenile offense?
Admit?
I confessed for him. The gallery murmured. Sides forming. Aunties nodding sympathy. Tommy's old high school buddies, shooting glares. Mom's turn. She wept artfully, dabbing with a lace hanky. Ella's always been jealous. Tommy's the artist. I just protected my boy. Protected. The flip again. Her narrative weaving me as the serpent. But Javier pounced. MS. Ramirez. Explain the $20K transfer to Thomas. From your late husband's insurance. Silence. Then a mumble. A loan. For his film. Film that's never seen light? Or the one laundering Pacific funds? Objection. Sustained. But the seed planted. Doubt blooming. Tommy's testimony cracked the case wide. Sworn in. He fidgeted. Sweat beading.
I
signed the lien. Desperate. But Ella, she knew about the codicil. Said she'd handle it.
Leet.
Gasps turned to outrage, my side erupting. Perjury. Javier thundered. The judge banged. Approach. Sidebar whispers. Then recess. In the hall. Chaos. Mom cornering me. His whisper. You ruined us. For a view. For truth.
Mom.
You flipped us all into monsters. Tommy hovered.
Defeated. Él.
The video. It wasn't fake. Abuela told me before signing to give you half. Mom cut you out. Half. The twist uncoiled. Venomous. Abuela's real wish. Buried by Mom's greed. Tommy knew. Held it for leverage. Not full betrayal, complicit silence. Court resumed. Bombshell dropped. Javier's exhibit. Abuela's hospice notes. Unearthed by Rosa. A nurse's log. Patient coherent. Requested equal split for grandchildren. Witnessed by L. Ramirez refused to note. Refused. Mom's forgery exposed.
Raw.
The PD folded. Settlement whispers. But the climax polarized. As verdict loomed, title to me. Restitution ordered. Pacific's shadow fell. A bailiff interrupted. Judge. Call for defendants. Federal warrant.
Feds.
RICO on Pacific. Tommy and Mom named co-conspirators. Handcuffs clicked. Mom wailing. Ella, help us. Help. The courtroom froze. Eyes on me, hero or Judas. I stood. Voice cracking. You built this cage. Live in it. They dragged them out. Mom's glare promising hell. Tommy's a plea, sis. Juvie. I owe you.
Oh.
The debt eternal. Verdict, mine. Damages, $50K. Half to charity, Abuela's alma mater. The condo secured, but hollow now. Echoes of the storm. Months later, the twist fully unraveled. Tommy, from county lockup, smuggled a letter. Pacific flipped on us. But you, the real revenge, was letting us sink. Abuela was right. Forgiveness frees. Or poisons. Poisons. Debate fodder. Was my stand justice? Or vengeful pyre? Happy ending me? Solvent. Solitary or tragedy? Family ashes? I sold the condo, eventually. Cashed out for a fresh start in Austin. Graphic gigs booming in text glow. No Miami humidity. No blood ties tugging. But on quiet nights, rum in hand, I wonder, did I win? Or just survive the flips? The ocean's gone. But the waves crash in dreams. Blood's thicker,
They say.
but revenge? It's the current that drowns you both. Or sets you free.